Hi BookTube. I just want to check in here briefly to show you some observations I've made of my hardcover edition of 11/22/63 by Stephen King. Now, if we just open it, I hope I can make this lie flat. Yes, I can. It seems that Stephen King's list of books that he's published here, they promote Rage. Now, given that Rage is intentionally, sorry, the zoom blurred there a bit, the focus blurred there a bit. Given that Rage is intentionally out of print, you would think that Stephen King and his publishers would want to sweep this title under the rug as much as possible. But there it is. It's listed in this book. And the second thing I've noticed is that here are some epigraphs that you can see the contents here. It shows the parts of the book, but not the individual chapters. And so, as a result, the contents does not include this prologue here, which is 5 pages long. And another thing I'd like to point out is the book has a grand total of about 848 to 850 pages. But don't worry, it's not as intimidating as you might first think, because there are some blank pages and title pages as well in between. So the page count is not as intimidating as it first might seem. And as a result also of, if I can get back to the contents here, the table of contents, as a result of only listing the parts, the end of the book, the ending, if we can just get to it. Sorry if I show you any spoilers with the text, but I'm trying to... As a consequence, the transition from the book itself to the afterword is very seamless, and you might be mistaken into believing the afterword is part of the overall story, like this is an additional chapter. It's not. So it's a little bit of a sneaky way of having readers read this. Although I would imagine that if you are a Stephen King fan, you would read this afterward without hesitation. But there is no clear dividing line between the end of the story itself and Stephen King's additional material in here. So those are just the observations I like to make when looking at this. Oh, one more thing. This is not the thickest or the biggest book I have in my on my bookshelf, but it is certainly one of the heaviest books I own. This is a very heavy book, despite it not being the bulkiest and the biggest. It is very, very heavy. So that's another observation. By the way, I like to read with my dust jacket on. All right, thanks for listening in. Goodbye.